Hey, remember this is Sports Panorama. Yes, I'm reaching you from the city of Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, and this is Wells Radio. So, we're keeping our fingers crossed to see what will happen in the world of Formula One. Don't forget the Friday practice 2 weeks ago from the Azerbaijan GP told a similar story before Sebastian Vettel hit back a day later to take his third successive pole position. And while Hamilton was satisfied with his progress on Friday at Barcelona, he remains very, very wary of the Ferrari threat. He said, well, it's been a very good Friday for us. Hamilton said, while speaking to the Mercedes video blog, and went on to say, well, we got through all the test runs we wanted. The Red Bulls are really fast. It looks like our race is currently with them, but I'm sure Ferrari will turn it around. Okay. Quite a number of positive stories coming there from Lewis Hamilton. However, Fernando Alonso believes the McLaren have a realistic shot of reaching the Q3 for the first time this season after the team debuted an extensive upgrade package for the Spaniards' home race. Okay, so that's the latest coming from the world of MotoGP. We will be serving you the latest as they continue to unfold. Away from the world of Formula One, let's talk about what's happening in the world of basketball. I can confirm to you everyone is getting ready for the NBA Finals in the Eastern Conference and of course the Western Conference. Don't forget, in the Eastern Conference we're going to be seeing the Boston Celtics, yes, and well, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Wonderful pair up, I should say, very wonderful pair ups. And in the Eastern Conference, of course, in the Western Conference, we're going to see the San Antonio, the Golden State Warriors go up against the Houston Rockets. And just in case you need to follow this game so you can get your writing material, let me read to you this the schedules and the times these games will be played. Meanwhile, game 1 in the Eastern Conference final, that is the game between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. That game will come up on Sunday, May 13, and well, you can Sunday May 13, that's game 1 in the Eastern Conference final between the Cleveland Cavaliers and of course the Boston Celtics. That's one game you need to watch out for. Don't forget that the Celtics will be on the road in that game. Okay, away from that, in game 2 we'll be seeing the likes of the Cleveland Cavaliers will up against Boston Celtics in game 2. That game will come up on the 15th of May 2018. Game 3 will come up on Saturday, May 19. Game 4 will come up on May 21st, that's a Monday. Game 5 will come up on the 23rd of May, and that's a Wednesday. And of course, Game 6 will come up May 25th, that's a Friday. And Game 7, May 27th. Don't forget that the likes of Game 5, 6, and 7, those games will only come up if by Game 4 there is no clear winner. That is, if neither side has a 3-game or 4-game advantage, that game will then go to Game 5. But if by Game 4 we'll have a clear favorite, if perhaps the Clevelands can take Game 4 the series by 4-0, or the Boston Celtics win by 4-0, it means there will be no need for Game 5, 6, and 7. However, if there is no clear winner by Game 4, it means that we'll have Game 5 and maybe Game 6, and Game 7 as well remains very tentative. Okay, let's go to the Western Conference. It is no longer news that the finals will come up between the Houston Rockets and of course the Golden State Warriors. You know how wonderful, how spectacular the Golden State Warriors have been. The 4th consecutive final in 4 years. This team has just been wonderful. You talk about the likes of Steph Curry. You can be rest assured that you will be getting a mouth-watering final between the Houston Rockets and of course the Golden State Warriors. Game 1 will come up on the 14th of May 2018, and that's Game 1. And Game 2 will come up on the 16th of May 2018. That's a Wednesday. It's going to be 9 p.m. United States time. And well, Game 3 will come up on the 20th of May, that's a Sunday, and Game 4 will come up on the 22nd of May 2018, that's a Tuesday. Meanwhile, Game 5, 6, and 7 are tentative, and this means that if by Game 4 there is no clear winner with a 4-game advantage, then it will have to go to Game 5, 6, and 7. And when the finalists emerge from the Eastern Conference and of course the Western Conference, the NBA Finals proper will begin on the 31st of May 2018, and that's a Thursday. Well, it's still undecided that those games will come up. He could start in in Houston or the Golden State Warriors. So it seems to be top games coming up in the world of NBA. And so if you love the Golden State Warriors, you love the Boston Celtics, if you love the Cleveland Cavaliers, you know, the opponents, yes, you need to get ready to support your team. Don't forget, this is the NBA, and like they say in the United States, I love this game. Let me quickly, before I step away from the world of basketball, let's quickly talk about the former coach, former manager of Toronto Raptors. Yes, I mean, he's been sacked. I'm talking about Dwayne Casey. Remember, he remains the most successful coach in the history of the Toronto Raptors. However, he's been sacked 4 days after the Eastern semi-final ouster of the team. Remember the Toronto Raptors? You remember, in case you're just getting to know for the first time. Yes, this is Sports Panorama, and yes, we'll break latest information, latest news to you on this program, particularly when it comes to sports. Yes, one program you should tune to is Sports Panorama. I can confirm to you categorically that the Toronto Raptors have fired the manager, Dwayne Casey, after 7 seasons on the job. Remember that this news has been reported and has come to as a shock to so many people who believe that the Toronto Raptors could still have been successful under this manager. But the management of the team came out to say that after careful consideration, they've decided that it was very, very difficult, but a necessary step that the franchise must take. Now, they went on to say that as a team, they were constantly trying to grow and improve in order to get to the next level, and they believe that the manager Dwayne Casey seems to have fallen short of the latest technical know-hows and may not be able to drive the team forward. Quite a number of people has expressed some mixed reactions to this development. Some people felt it was quite an excessive step to take, and some people feel, well, it is the step in the right direction. Don't forget that Dwayne Casey was named as head coach in Raptors history on the 21st of June 2011, and he's had a wonderful career so far. Okay, away from the world of basketball, there's just so much. There's just so much to talk about. Well, let's step away from basketball very briefly, and let's talk about something happening in the world of boxing. Reaching you from the city of Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. The station is Wells Radio. The program is Sports Panorama, and of course, my name is Emmanuel Omolaja. Thank you for joining us. Remember to connect with us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This is very, very important. On Facebook, like the page Facebook Wells Radio Online. On Twitter and Instagram, you can follow us, yes, and Wells Radio. Like the page, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Drop your questions, drop your contributions. It'll be nice to get lots of feedbacks from you. What has been your biggest football game so far in the Premiership? Don't forget the last game of the Premiership will be played tomorrow. What do you feel about Coach Arsene Wenger stepping down for 22 years? Come on, drop your questions, drop your contributions. Let's do this program together. Okay, right now let's go into the world of boxing, and let's talk about Joseph Parker. Don't forget, this guy was defeated at Bashi. However, he has come out to say that, well, he's considering a lot of options for a fight this summer, but hopes of an immediate return to Britain have come down, and that's according to his promoter. Okay, I mean, you do not want to go into the boxing ring. I've seen lots of great fights. You talk about great boxers of time past. You talk about Cassius Clay, who changed his name to Muhammad Ali. You talk about the likes of Leonard Lewis. You talk about Tyson, Mike Tyson. These are some of the greatest boxers to have fought in recent years. But right now we're talking about the likes of Anthony Oluwafemi Joshua. I like to say it. His name is Anthony Oluwafemi Joshua because he has got links to Nigeria. Yes, Jangabo Ogun State to be precise. And this guy seems to be the latest kid on the block. Just 26 years of age, and he's been defeating and beating all those that need to be defeated. And quite a number of people have been trying to see if they can get into the ring with him. Don't forget the likes of James Wilder. Some were knocking on the door. The promoters and the backroom staff team of Anthony Joshua have continued to say to them, bring the money to the table. It's all about the money. If you can get the money right, we'll definitely come down to a fight. Don't forget, we've been seeing lots of and criticisms and would I say boastful proclamations on social media, particularly on Twitter and Instagram. However, the team of Anthony Joshua continued to say to them that, come on, it's not about you being on social media to make noise, it's about you putting the money. Let's get into the boardroom and decide and discuss, and of course we will get into the room. But still talking about Joseph Parker, his promotional team Doko Events are currently working through a list of opponents, with days being considered in July, August and September, as Joseph Parker plans his his next move after losing the WBO belt in points defeat to Anthony Joshua in March. Remember that game was that fight, I beg your pardon, was fought on the 31st of March 2018, and well, since that day, Joseph Parker has been trying so hard. He's been training really hard. I've seen some video clips as trying to get back into the boxing ring, but of course, his team is currently working on a list of very, very tough opponents, to see who he will be getting into the ring with. Okay, boxing, no, not one of my favorite sports, but if you like boxing, you can keep it there with us in Sports Panorama. Definitely bring up to speed, with the latest coming from the world of boxing. Okay, away from that, right now, time now to talk about football. It is the biggest and most popular sports across the world, and like I said, lots of big games will be going down this weekend. It is the final weekend of the English Premier League. Today will be decided. We will get to know with the final team that will be getting relegated in the Premiership. However, it is going to be a day of emotions for Gunners fans because of Coach Arsene Wenger. And finally, 22 years of being manager of Arsenal Football Club. His final day tomorrow when he takes his team to Huddersfield for the final Premiership game of the season. Remember, they lost the last game to Leicester City by 3-1. It's just been a very, very bad away performance for the team so far this season, particularly in the year 2018. However, we're sure that Coach Arsene Wenger will try so hard to make sure that today's game is different from what we've seen in recent weeks. Okay, but I can confirm to you that the manager has been speaking. Yesterday, we saw Coach Arsene Wenger grant his final press conference as manager of Arsenal Football Club yesterday, and well, it made revelations. He did, lead the lead on quite a number of things. What his regrets were, what his biggest success were. What happened, particularly the deal to the Emirates when they left Highbury, and he has come out to say that he has no regrets about Arsenal's move from Highbury to Emirates Stadium, even if it restricted the chances of winning silverware. You remember that when they made that move from Highbury to the Emirates Stadium, they were handicapped in terms of cash and financial resources, and that was the same period where the likes of Chelsea, who had just been taken over by Roman Abramovich, brought in the money into Chelsea. You also remember that the Grealish brothers came into Manchester United, and very shortly after that, we saw the management team from the Middle East come to take over Manchester City. But he has come out to say that no, he has no regrets about Arsenal's move from the Highbury to the Emirates Stadium. Arsene Wenger will take charge for the final time after almost 22 years as Arsenal manager, as they travel to Huddersfield on the last day of the Premier League tomorrow. And well, one of Arsene Wenger's lasting legacies is Arsenal's move from Highbury to the Emirates Stadium, which is about 60,000. It's a 60,000 seater in a capacity, after which Arsenal's spending power was restricted to ensure that the new ground was paid for. And well, even though the relocation possibly cost him the chance to leave Arsenal, with even more silverware, the manager has come out to say that it was a sacrifice he was willing to make. He said, well, we had to do it. There is no club that can turn people who wanted to attend the game down. At the time, I thought we were a bit too ambitious with 60,000 capacity, but at the end of the day, it worked out just fine. Okay, he said, well, I believe the Highbury had a special spirit. It's a cathedral, a church. You could smell the soul of every guy that lived there, so it was special. It will always be special for me. However, the Emirates for me was like buying a new house. It took us a while to feel at home there. It's a fantastic stadium, but there was something special at Highbury that you could never recreate when you build something new. Okay, so much stories. Right now, I'm still talking about the Gunners. Quite a number of stories making the rounds. One man who seems very, very, very sad that Coach Arsene Wenger will be stepping down is an Arsenal fan, Delmos O'Leary, and well, he could not hide his tears. He said, "What I wouldn't lie to you, I cried last Sunday, twice, to be precise. I knew it was going to happen. The first game as a manager of 22 years was applauded onto the pitch and pretty much through a guard of honor in the bright May afternoon sunshine. Well, quite a number of people feeling very emotional that Coach Arsene Wenger will be stepping down tomorrow after the final game of the season. Meanwhile, Arsenal are in the news today because information that broke yesterday says that the club side has suspended under 23 coaches Steve Gatton and Panorama after complaints, of bullying some players. Now, it is understood that the complaints have come from members of the under-23 squad. Gatlin, who happens to be Arsenal's under-23 head coach and played for the club 76 times from 1977, to 1981, and also has Lariman as his assistants. And reports says that both managers have been suspended, while an investigation has been launched following complaints from some players that both managers have been bullying some members of the under-23 team. Okay, away from the Gunners right now, let's take a trip to another club side. Today, don't forget, the Premiership is winding down, and some teams have survived and some teams are getting ready to fight on the last day. The winner of the Premier League has been confirmed, Manchester United, but still some stories making the rounds across some different websites and different club sides. Let's talk about Everton, and it's been trending for the last couple of days, where reports say that Wayne Rooney has struck agreed in principle to join DC United in the United States of America. Well, that story has not been confirmed by Everton. The manager and coach Sam Allardyce did say, well, we've seen negotiations, however we're yet to conclude and it's yet to be confirmed if Wayne Rooney will be leaving the Merseyside. Talk about Goodison Park, will be leaving Goodison Park to go to the United States to go play in the MLS. However, the DC United manager Ben Olsen has confirmed interest in Wayne Rooney, but insists that the deal to take him to the MLS is not yet done. Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed, but don't forget that Sky Sports reported earlier this week that a deal has been agreed in principle to take the first 3-year-old to the United States of America for about £12 million. Okay, thank you for staying with us. I'm still bringing to you updates from stories making the rounds in the Premier League. I just talked about Wayne Rooney and the proposed move to the MLS. However, let's talk about one manager who is not too glad this morning. I'm talking about Mark Hughes. Remember, the Mark Hughes used to be the manager of Stoke City before making the switch to Southampton, and has come out to say that he feels he has been airbrushed out of Stoke's history after the club's owners said they should have sacked him sooner. And you remember he was sacked in January, and before taking charge of Southampton until the end of the season, and it does seem like he's been able to secure the Southampton in the Premier League for another season ahead of their final game on Sunday. Remember, the Stoke achieved their highest ever Premier League finish, ninth 3 times under Mark Hughes, but they were 16th in the Premier League standings, and with one win in their past 8 games when he was sacked as manager of Stoke City. But he has come out to say that he believes he gave his very best when he was manager, and the fact that their best success in the Premier League 3 times in a row and was under his managerial watch, he should have been shown more respect. Okay, everyone is talking about the 2018 World Cup, and people are talking about teams that will go and how well they will do, and it does seem like one man is still in the news. I'm talking about Arsenal's and Jack Wilshere. Don't forget, people have said they should be taken to the World Cup. Some have said no, he isn't good enough and he should be dropped. But one man again who seems to have joined that conversation is Steve McMahon, who believes that John Shevley should go to the World Cup and not Jack Wilshere. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Don't forget that very soon the manager Gareth Southgate of England will definitely be releasing his final list of players that will go to the World Cup next week. Yes, and that will definitely be announced on the 16th of May, and that's just a couple of days from now, on the Wednesday to be precise. Coach of 3 Lions of England, Gareth Southgate, will definitely name his 23-man list for Russia 2018. So we'll keep our fingers crossed to see who. You'll probably release the 30-man list, and then you wait until the 4th of June to prune that team down to 23. So we'll see who will go to the World Cup and who will not go to the World Cup. Okay, away from that, let's take a trip to Italy, where Gianluigi Buffon, you remember, he's Juventus goalkeeper. He's been charged over his comments over a referee, Michael Oliver. Do you remember what happened in the semi-final between Real Madrid and Juventus? Where Juventus were conceded a late penalty in the second leg of the semi-final game, and Michael Oliver pointed to the penalty spot. Right now, Juventus Gianluigi Buffon has been charged by UEFA over comments about referee Michael Oliver after the Champions League defeat by Real Madrid. Remember that Buffon was sent off in that game. for very poor comments coming from him, and lots of people have said no, that shouldn't have come from him, and has his experience has him. But still talking about the World Cup, let's talk about Dani Alves of PSG and Brazil. Unfortunately, it does seem this guy will not be part of the Mundial coming up in Russia later this year, because of Brazil right back Dani Alves will definitely miss him this summer's World Cup with a new injury. And well, it's 35 years. He got the knee damaged in the French final cup last weekend over right there in France. Oh, very sad story, for Dani Alves. Very sad. Okay, so talking about this weekend, there are quite a number of games you should look out for. I will be watching out for quite a number of games in the Spanish La Liga today. Real Sociedad will be up against Leganés, Alaves will be up against Atletico Bilbao, Deportivo La Coruña will slug it out with Villarreal, Elba, and Las Palmas will battle it out for 3 points. Girona will be at home welcoming Valencia, and of course Celta Vigo will travel to Real Madrid, while Sevilla as well will be away at Real Betis. But it's going to be another wonderful game between Getafe and Atletico Madrid. Meanwhile, in the German Bundesliga, it's going to be Schalke 04 up against Frankfurt. Hamburg will be at home welcoming Borussia Mönchengladbach. RB Leipzig will travel to Hertha Berlin. Borussia Dortmund as well will be away to Hoffenheim. While it is going to be fireworks when Wolfsburg and Cologne, slug it out for 3 maximum points. Don't forget, one game you should look out for again is the game between Mainz 05 and of course Werder Bremen. Mainz 05 has Nigerian defender Leon Balogun in that squad. Okay. In the Italian Serie A, Italian Nacional, that is Inter Milan and Sassuolo will trade tackles. Today Benevento also welcoming Genoa, and of course one game you should look out for. That's one game you should look out for in the Italian Serie A. But let's go to Sunday, where everyone is looking for the final of the Premiership. It's going to be Everton and West Ham trading tackles, 3 p.m. Nigerian time. Tottenham Hotspur will be at the Wembley Stadium welcoming Leicester City. Remember, Leicester City are still both from their 3-1 victory over Arsenal just a couple of days ago. Manchester United will welcome Watford, and of course we've been made to understand that Manchester United substantive captain Michael Carrick will definitely be leading the team out and be starting that game. It is going to be his final game as a Manchester United player before he will be joining the backroom staff of Jose Mourinho from next season. Meanwhile, Newcastle and Chelsea will also slug it out at the St James's Park. One game you should look out for is the game between Arsenal and Huddersfield. Arsenal will be traveling away to Huddersfield Town. It's going to be the final game for Coach Arsene Wenger. Very emotional day, I'm sure it will be. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace have been wonderful since Roy Hodgson took over. They will be up against West Bromwich Albion. Bournemouth will travel to Burnley, and Liverpool will also welcome Brighton. Don't forget, Liverpool don't want to lose this game or drop this game, because they want to qualify for the Champions League just if they do not win against Real Madrid in the final of the UEFA Champions League. But if they do lose this game and Chelsea sneak into top 4, it wouldn't matter, because they just might not matter. They would need to win the UEFA Champions League to be able to qualify for next season's Champions League. Still talking about games to look out for tomorrow in the Spanish La Liga. Levante and Barcelona will trade tackles. Espanyol and Malaga will also trade tackles. Okay, right now we'll pause right now and go on another break, and when I come back I will take you around the country Nigeria. Hey, yes, you just listened to a wonderful song by the likes of Tiwa Savage, Lola Ray, Sarkodie, Down on Mika Sad, of course Davido, celebrating Africa. Yes, we love to celebrate Nigeria, we celebrate the continent of Africa, we celebrate the black race. Don't forget that Nigeria remains the most populous black community in the world, but we're proud of who we are, proud of the skin color of our skin, because we're wonderfully and beautifully made in what's God's own image. So we have nothing to be shy of. Okay, thank you for staying with us. Remember, the program is still Sports Panorama. Yes, we're dishing to you the latest and the biggest stories in the world of sports, taking a trip around Europe, America, and the world. Right now, I've come back home to give you the latest. Just a couple of stories before I call it a day on the program. I've just got a couple of minutes before I step out of the studio, but I say thank you for those of you who have stayed with us from the commencement of the program. Let's start from the world of basketball in Nigeria, where former Dolphins manager Chukwu Okorogu has come out to say that she misses working with the women's national team after she was replaced by the Nigerian Basketball Federation with Shola Shomala, and this happened just a couple of days on Thursday, to be precise. Remember that in the statement on Thursday by the Nigerian Basketball Federation. They came out to say that the former manager of the Tigers, will be replaced by former captain Shumala, who currently coaches some Lagos, some clubs, and first some deep waters. And well, she will be joining the first banker manager Peter Amedu in the team. Okorogu was one of the assistants to coach Sam Vincent and on the Tigers team that won the 2017 AfroBasket title in Senegal. Okay, so we wish her the very best of luck in all of the things that she does in her future endeavors. Away from that, let's talk about what's happening in the world of handball. Don't forget, I think I shared this with you yesterday when I talked about 60 schools getting ready to compete for this at the 4th edition of the Lagos State Secondary Schools Handball Competition, which will take place at the Mobolaji Johnson Sports Complex in Lagos. And remember, that will come up between the 14th and 18th of May 2018. Lots of things have been put together by the Lagos State Handball Association, which has stated that, well, we are the top organizers of the tournament, and we can assure you that things have been put in place to make sure that the tournament is a wonderful one. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and we'll monitor from the 14th of May to the 16th of May. That's from Monday to Wednesday. We'll be watching out for what happens in the world of handball in Lagos. Okay, away from handball, let's talk about athletics in Nigeria, with the 6th IAAF silver label Okweke International 10-kilometer road race will come up today, yesterday in Auchi, Edo State. And remember, the world's fastest woman over 10 kilometers so far this year. I'm talking about Sandra Felix Chobit of Kenya. Remember, her current time is a time of 13 minutes and 57 seconds. She will definitely be on parade and leading the world-class team of elite athletes in the race for the coveted $20,000. Remember, $20,000 will be the first prize in the first ever IAAF silver label road race in West Africa. And well, and this lady will be running alongside her countrywomen, the likes of Mary Munamu, which is the 4th fastest woman over the distance this year, with a time of 31.34 seconds, which she ran last January to come third at the Valencia 10-kilometer road race. Also in the lineup is Ethiopia's Ahmedwak Walema, which is the 3rd best ranked man in the 10-kilometer race so far this year. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for what happens in Edo State later today. It's the Okweke road race. Remember, top athletes from around the world competing for $20,000 and first prize for the winner. And well, that's one tournament we're going to be watching out for later today. Quickly, let me take you into world of football and let's talk about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. That is the under-20 team of the Nigerian football team. I can confirm to you that the Flying Eagles will battle Guinea-Bissau today in Bissau in the first leg of their Niger 2019 Under-20 African Cup of Nations. Remember, the Nigeria drew by into the second round of the qualifiers and will have to scale the Guinean hurdle to reach the final round of qualifiers before they get a place in Niger 2019. The match will come up on the 24th of September later this year. Of course, on the return leg holding in Port Harcourt will come up later after that. You remember that Guinea defeated Sierra Leone in the first round to book a place against Nigeria. Of course, on the Nigerian Football Federation, Flying Eagles coach Paula Igbogun has departed the country and they left on Wednesday and has come out to say that 20 players are getting ready to prosecute this game. Okay, from the under-20, let's go to the senior national team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, where it's been confirmed that coach Ghana Troy will release a provisional list on Monday. Yes, and that is at least the 13-man provisional list of players that will go to World Cup. And of course, remember that some of these players will prosecute the friendly games coming up against the Democratic Republic of Congo on the 28th of May, and of course on the 2nd of June later this year. Don't forget that the German tactician is also expected to name new players in the team that will battle and play in some of these friendly games. It's come out to say we'll have a couple of new players coming to the squad. We want to give them an opportunity to show what they can offer before we make a final list of the players who will be going with us to Russia. Okay, and quickly before I go, let me remind you that in the Nigeria Professional Football League, Lobby Stars is top with 37 points from 19 games. Kano Pillars the second with 32 points from 20 games. and of course, Kisuna United third after 20 games with 30 points. Okay, and this is the much I can take and serve you today on the Sports Panorama. Thank you for being part of the program. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Don't forget to link up with us on social media. On Facebook, like the page, Wells Radio Online. On Twitter and Instagram, like and follow the page and drop your questions, comments if there are any Wells Radio. Well, it is a Saturday, so try as much as possible to relax, spend time with friends and family, move your bodies if if you can. You don't need to go running and running. Come on, you can move around the house, shake your bodies, dance to lots of praise and worship. Spend quality time with God as well. Don't forget tomorrow is Sunday. Do not forsake the congregation of the brethren. Quite a number of people say I need not go to church. Come, you need to go to church. You need to spend time with the brethren in the church. But if you're able to move your body and do a little bit of exercise, well, kudos to you. But don't forget to feed yourself as well with the food of the spirit, because embodied exercise profiteth little, but godliness is what profitable unto all things, and that you will find in 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 8. Thank you for being part of the program again. It's been nice spending time with you. My name is Emmanuel Lamola here, and this has been a production of Wells Radio. Remember, we are reaching you from the city of Ibadan, your state, Nigeria. I sign off today, leaving you with this beautiful song. I'll see you some other time. Bye for now.